Our last topic in chapter 5 is the retail market strategy. So, what I want to do here is introduce you to the strategic retail planning process that we will use this semester to guide our discussion of the 6Ps. And also, you will use this as you work through your semester long project. So, the strategic retail planning process is the set of steps that the retailer goes through to develop their strategy and plan. And there's a few mandatory elements that every retail plan has. The first is the retail market segment, right? So you have to identify your retail market segment. You also identify your retail format, your retail mix, and you identify your competitive advantages. So that's all kind of the introduction to your retail plan. This is out of your book, so you can go back and look at it and spend a little bit more time with it. But there are 7 steps in the retail planning process. And the first is to define your business mission. Your mission statement is a broad description of your retail objectives and the scope of activities that you plan to undertake. So your business mission should identify how you plan to maximize your profits and also what you expect your impact on society to be. Mission statements, the best mission statements answer the following 5 questions. What business are we in? What should our business look like in the future? Who are our customers? What are our business capabilities? And what do we want to accomplish, right? And so you can go to any retailer's website, click on About Us, and you will find their mission statement. There are some retailers who have a really well-defined business mission and others who don't exactly answer the 5 questions. So I challenge you to visit the website of your favorite retailer and look at their mission statement and discuss in the discussion board for chapter 5 whether or not it's a good mission statement and what makes it good. Or you could also talk about what it's lacking if you feel that it's not a really good retail business mission. So that's the first step in the planning process, is to define your mission. The second step is to conduct a situation analysis. Your situation analysis does include a SWOT, right? So your strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats. But it also looks at some market factors, competitive factors, and environmental factors that could impact your retail business. So when you look at the market, you're looking at what's the size of the retail market. Is there a potential for growth? Is there seasonality, business cycles? I worked at an ice cream shop in high school. And so one of the largest market factors that impacted us was seasonality. People eat ice cream mostly in the summer and, spring and fall a little bit, but the business wasn't great during the winter months. And so the business owner decided to close. So they actually closed the business from October to February in order to try to have the best business possible. So they looked at seasonality to help determine when they should actually be open. So they were only open part of the year. Okay, so that's a way market factors could impact your retail business. Different competitive factors obviously could impact, and different economic or regulatory laws or social factors could impact you as well. So all of that is part of step 2, which is the situation analysis. Step 3 and step 4, you are using your SWOT analysis that you conducted in step 2 in order to identify opportunities and evaluate those opportunities that might help you as you are opening your business. And then step 5 is to establish your objectives and start allocating your resources in order to build the plan. So when you're thinking about retail objectives, they have to contain 3 components: your performance that you're seeking, the time frame, and the level of investment needed. And we'll go into this in a lot more detail as we start working through the next few chapters, but objectives do have to contain your performance that you're seeking, your time frame, and the level of investment. So an example of a good retail objective is here: to achieve a customer base of 1,000 by the end of the first operating year with a budget of $10,000. right? So retail plans are going to start with that objective. Step 6 is actually to develop your retail mix. So this is where you start talking about your tactical actions. So we're going to start very heavily focusing on these as we get into chapter 7, so coming very soon. But this is when we look at those 6 Ps and we actually start making our strategic decisions surrounding those 6 Ps. So it's how we're going to decide what types of merchandise we're going to offer, how we're going to price our merchandise, how we plan to advertise, what types of services we're going to offer, etc. So this is the biggest, most in-depth part of a retail plan. And then we would be remiss if we didn't evaluate our plan and adjust it. So every year a retailer is going to look at their plan, look at their retail mix, and see what changes need to be made. If you're meeting your objectives, you might not need to make any changes. However, if you are not meeting your objectives, you obviously need to reanalyze and make adjustments as needed. So we will talk through this strategic retail planning process as we move through the next few chapters of our textbook. We'll most heavily focus on step 6, which is that retail mix. And we start with chapter 7 talking about location next.